Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sharing a Drink with Matt, the album review. Today I'm talking about this beauty. It's a new one from the Owen Guns, Monks in Sexyland. How are you, Sean?
Hey mate, how are you?
A lot better now that I've seen your shirt.
I thought you were going to say seen my big ugly head.
No, I saw that the other day. How you been?
Good mate, good. How are you?
We really have to stop meeting like this, I tell you. Anyways, let's start the ball rolling.
Awesome.
I've got to ask who thought of the name. You, of course.
Um, yeah, kind of monks in Sexyland. Yeah, it's a weird one. It actually came about when my nieces told us about the story in the news a year or two back about the actual monk that went to Sexyland, and they thought it was hilarious as kids, and they just kind of got stuck as an in joke at my house. And then when we wrote the song about it, we thought let's just call the album "Monks in Sexyland." It was just one of those things, and everyone was like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." They let me make that decision more or less, but yeah, that was yeah, just one of those things.
Yeah,
But it's
I thought it
it's
was.
ridiculous, the whole idea of the monk going and buying a bunch of porno.
Yeah,
Yeah, and we've had fun with it. We've shot a film clip for the title track as well, which comes out in a couple of days, which is as you'll see, is just me dressed as a monk running around with a blow up doll, which was just a hoot to film. So yeah.
yeah, I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, you wait till you see the rest. It's bloody stupid in the best way.
Of course, in the Owen Guns way. Yeah. I got to say, and it's not really because of the name, but trans rights and human rights. That's my favorite song
Oh
on
wow,
the
awesome.
album.
It's weird because everyone seems to have a different favorite. That one's a Martin riff. Martin kind of sent through the riff and we're like, yeah, this is really cool. We got into the rehearsal room and fleshed out the song all of the songs kind of came together quickly. I actually tried different lyrics for it. I'd written lyrics previously about Avi Yemeni, the little midget dickhead, and we were going to use that, but I just couldn't get them to fit the song. So I was talking to Martin about it, and it just came to me. I think it was during that time where every time you turn on the TV, there'd be some idiot complaining about drag queens in libraries or something, and it just gave me the shits. And I was like, well, I'm not a trans person, obviously, but I thought, well, if it's pissing me off, how must they feel? And yeah, wrote the song based on that. And we put it out as a charity single and raised about $400 for Transcend, which is a charity that helps trans kids and their families and stuff. So yeah, it was a good song, good cause, and they let me use theremin on it. I'm always happy when they let me bust a theremin out.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Because funny you say that about Martin having a bit of a hand in that one. As you know, I'm an '80s punk enthusiast or whatever. I love my '80s punk, and that was really '80s punk when punk was fucking brilliant. And I think that's what I like so much about the song. It was just you smashed it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was nice to have Martin contribute riffs because he's more of a when a riff comes in, he'll add bits. This was the first time I think he's actually contributed a whole new riff from the start. Um, he's more of one of those guys that will hear something that one of the other guys comes up with and goes, "Let's tweak it, let's change this, let's add this intro, let's do this." This was his baby from start to finish, more or less, and that was really nice. And I hope he does more of it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, no, I loved it. I thought it was great. How long were you in the studio in the process of doing this one?
Okay, so the actual recording itself was done over 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, and then mixed on the Monday pretty much. So Jeff worked like an absolute demon with us up in Newcastle at Rock the Nation Studios. Yeah, we got there on the Saturday, recorded all the drums, some of the guitar tracks. The next day we did all the other bits and pieces, vocals, solos, all the weird noise that you hear in the background of some of the tracks. Yeah, so it was a really quick process. We can't afford the time off to take weeks in a studio. We can't afford the money that costs. So we're really lucky we've got someone like Jeff up at Rock the Nation who's he's brilliant. Without him, we couldn't do half the recording shit we do.
So obviously you've worked with him before.
Yeah, he's recorded all of our stuff. And yeah, he's just got an awesome little studio up in Newcastle. He's really easy to work with. He gets what we're trying to do. You know, he's got that punk sense. He has played in a bunch of bands, including Australian Beef Week Show, East
Okay.
Coast Low, and also Drugs in Sport. So he's in a bunch of awesome bands. Yeah,
Yeah.
he gets us, and he's just a super awesome dude to work with. So any bands looking for a
And he
place to
leaves it
record,
all in your hands.
so yeah, he mixes all at his place and he sends it to us, and we kind of say, "Can you tweak this? Can you tweak that?" And yeah, it's all done.
But he lets you do what you want to do. He
Yeah,
doesn't.
look, he doesn't interfere. He'll make some suggestions now and then, but he's really one of those guys that kind of goes, "You know what you're doing. Fill your
Yeah.
boots." He might say, "Oh, should we add that, or should we maybe make that sound a bit different?" But really, he more or less he's more of an engineer than a producer. He lets us, um, yeah, do what we want to do, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Another thing I noticed too, I think Minor Threat are going to start having to pay you for all the all,
The
all the
sneaky shirt on
promotion
the
and
front cover.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm pretty sure there was one in Brain Dead too, wasn't there? Someone wearing a
Oh,
Minor Threat.
there might have been. I have to go back and have a look. But yeah, we that was Rich from the Dark Clouds did the front cover for us, and he
Okay.
threw that in there. There's a lot of little Easter eggs in that front cover. Facebook doesn't like that cover. It doesn't let us advertise that cover. Anytime we try and run an ad with it, it blocks it for sexual imagery.
Yeah. Yeah. There's porn all over the punk sites at the moment.
Yeah, that's it. You go on a Facebook and any site you look at, there's some chick being caught out by some massive wang, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
okay apparently. But yeah, Facebook, man.
You
Yeah,
can't do it
yeah,
in music wise, no.
yeah. Hence our song, The Algorithm on the album, which is kind of about that kind of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, I loved it. So tell us more about it. Tell us like
It's an interesting. It's only five. It's only eight songs. It's short, sharp, and shiny. I like it because it's a bit different to the other stuff. It's kind of style wise. There's lots of different things, and everyone contributed songs to that one. Um, which is maybe why it sounds kind of different. Matu Unity was completely Matu. Mark threw in a couple, I threw in a couple, Martin did, and there's a couple that we all kind of worked on together. So yeah, it's neat that it kind of everyone came together. Um, Mark even wrote some lyrics.
yeah,
Normally it's
for
all me. So Naughty
what
instead,
you said.
yeah, the first verse, he actually sent that to us, just played on an acoustic, but
Okay.
didn't want to use it because it's like, oh, it's not really our style. And it got stuck in my head. And I thought, this is really, really fucking good.
Yeah.
And he turned out he had got a really, really good singing voice. So we wanted him to sing, but he wouldn't. Bastard made me do it. But I said, can we speed that riff up? I kind of distort it. And he said, oh, I'll give it a try. Sent me that via WhatsApp. I wrote the rest of the lyrics in about 3 minutes. And when we got into the rehearsal rooms, had the song done real quick, and I really like his little country style solo in that one. Um, yeah, and that's what I mean. This album's got all kinds of different shit. There's a bit of country in there, there's a bit of hardcore, there's a bit of punk, a lot of stupidness. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what did you go into the studio any different than Brain Dead?
Um, no, maybe more prepared. A couple of rehearsals earlier, we just hammered those eight songs, so we knew what we were doing. Jeff had some new toys to play with in the studio, which was cool. But yeah, we just kind of we go and do our thing. Yeah,
Yeah. Had fun.
yeah. I mean, it's funny because I'm usually pretty believe it or not, relaxed in the studio. I'm a stress head everywhere else, but the studio I seem pretty relaxed. Mark stresses until he does his parts, and then he's fine. Martu and Martin are both pretty chill dudes. Nothing
Yeah,
stresses them. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I can't see any stress coming from R two. He would
No, Martu always says to me, he says, brother, calm down, calm down. He keeps me
have.
on on an even keel. But yeah, it was really cool to see actually Mark in the studio. Now he's been with the band for 2 recordings. What really impressed me with Mark is all those solos and pretty much all the guitar. It's all one take. Um,
Oh,
those leads that you hear, yeah, he didn't need to have a couple of goes at nailing them. They were pretty much all one takes. The lead he plays at the end of Fat Cunt Power, he wasn't even looking. Like I videoed him playing that, and he's playing, he's doing his whittly bits, and he's just kind of looking around while he's playing, and it's a bang done. So yeah,
yeah, just like the way he is on stage. Like
yeah, he's
he doesn't move, does he?
he doesn't move a lot. Although lately now he's kind of relaxed and I think feels more comfortable in the band. Every now and then he'll do some little dance or make some little face, and it's kind of neat. Yeah, but Mark's just a cool dude.
Yeah, and he's comfortable now, so he's found his place.
Found his groove, I think. Yeah, and he's look, the stuff he's contributed on this album, like Dead Shits, that was his song completely. He messaged
Ah,
me one day and he said, "Oh, I've had a crack at writing a hardcore punk song. I don't normally do that." I'm like, "All right, send it through." And it was like, "Fuck, this is amazing." Same with the solo. He just said, "Oh, this is what I think I'm going to do for the solo," and he sent me just a little video of him playing that. I was like, "Yeah, that's it." And again, the great thing about having something like WhatsApp is we can bounce riffs off each other, and then when we walk into the rehearsal room, we're already kind of hyped up and ready to go, and it doesn't take long at all to knock the songs together.
yeah,
And that's a fun little song, and the video that Fox animated, I think, is really cool as well. So that's up on YouTube if you want to have a look. Mike Foxall from Neptune Power Federation and Nancy Vandal and Sick Fizz and a bunch of other cool things. Yeah, he did the animation. Go and have a look on YouTube. Enjoy it.
yeah. Do that, guys. Make
Do
sure.
do, do as you're told.
Yeah. So yeah. Just tell me about the album itself. Just
So yeah, first track, Monks and Sexyland. Again, it's about old mate Monk who goes and it's a porno store. It's I took out all the parts about him stealing and stuff, so I kind of modified the story a bit. And I just kind of thought, imagine Monk first time off to see a porno and have a wank. So that's what that is. I like that one because there's some weird noises at the end of it. Martu designed something called the wank box, which you can hear at the last 30 seconds or so of that, which is basically like a giant box with a slinky string, and you're bounced up and
oh,
down. It makes crazy kind of Star Wars noises, so you can hear that in the background with a theremin and that. Yeah, that's fun. I like that one. Unity, I think track two. I can't even
yeah,
remember the track order. Track two, Unity. Yeah, that one's Martu's. He wrote that pretty much go to woe the music for that and sent us almost a completed song with programmed drums and everything. And he actually sent that. We had that prior to Brain Dead coming out, but we didn't
yep,
have time to work on it before we recorded Brain Dead. So that was, I think, one of the first things we did, and I wrote the lyrics back then too. So 2019, I think 2019, 2020, that one's been lurking around since. So that's been around a while. Next was Dead Shits, which we kind of talked about. That was a Mark.
yep,
Trans Rights, again, that was Martin. Then on to side two, The Algorithm. That's another
mm,
Mark. That's another Mark song. Another one where
yeah,
he'd pretty much written it. That one's a bit different to anything else we've done. It's more rock and rolly.
yep.
Because Mark, all of us, but particularly Mark loves that kind of Scandinavian rock and roll. Bands
Oh,
like the
well,
Helicopters. He's really into that kind of sound. And
that,
garage rock bands. So Zeke, the Super Suckers, the really kind of garagey rock thing as
yep,
well. The New Bomb Turks, all that kind of stuff. He's all into those bands, and I think you can hear that influence in that. The intro we just kind of knocked together. in the rehearsal room. I said, "Oh, we probably should. Maybe we need an intro for this." Martin came up with a bass riff real quick, and then Mark was kind of just sitting there doing little guitar noodles, and I was like, "Do that. That's it. That what you just did then." And he's like, "Oh, I can't even remember what I did." And then he kind of sat there and remembered it, and yeah, that was that one. That's a fun little song. It's about being annoyed with influencers, but also being annoyed with Facebook. And I think when I wrote the lyrics for that, I'd just been banned for posting a meme that I'd shared 4 years previously.
Ah,
So you get a message going, "Oh, you posted this back in, 2018. You're now banned for a week." Like,
yeah.
that was 4 years. I don't know what the fuck I was doing 4 years ago. I don't even know what I had for breakfast. So that's a bit frustrating. I think that combined with I was reading an article on the news about some influencer chick who'd been banned by Instagram, and she's complaining because all of a sudden she had to go out and get a real job. I was like, so that was kind of the dual inspirations for that song. Um, what's next? What's next on the album? Trying to think of the track listing. Um, Naughty Instead, yeah. So that one,
Yeah.
Mark sent us the first little bit, and it was, when he sang that first verse, and it was kind of cheeky and funny and naughty, but my lyrics kind of took a darker, more cynical term about just how sometimes people who are cunts, I don't know if I can say that, but I've said it, cunts, there's the C word. People who are shit cunts kind of can get away with things, and sometimes it doesn't pay to be nice. Sometimes it
Yeah.
pays to be a cunt, and the frustration of those people kind of, getting away with it. So that's what that's about. Mark threw that cool little wah solo in the country style thing, which is pretty awesome. It's a short, sharp, and shiny one. It's a bit more poppy than most of our stuff. That and Unity are kind of the two poppy songs, but it's good to have some difference. I had to sing a little bit on the beginning of that one, which I didn't like, but you can decide whether it was shit or not. um, After that was FCP, which stands for
Yeah.
Fat Cunt Power.
Okay.
That's already become my favorite. That and Dead Shits are my two favorites, but Fat Cunt Power is my favorite to play live. Um, because I like to do the whole "who ate all the pies" part, and everyone else shouts "you fat bastard." I get the crowd in on that one, so I get a bit of. But yeah, that was a fun one. I came up with a riff for that, and poor old Mark, I sent him the riffs on kazoo. And I said, Mark, these are my ideas. I've got like a verse riff, a chorus riff, and kind of a breakdown riff. Here they are. Can you turn them into something? And he messaged me back, yeah, I'll give it a go. Meanwhile, what I didn't know was he'd also messaged Martin going, that idiot sent me something on kazoo. What the fuck do I do with it? And Martin's kind of like, just to humor him and try and turn it into something, um, which he did really well. And it kind of came out exactly how I imagined it. That was another one that took no time at all. And I really like his solo in that. Again, that's a really quick solo. He didn't even look. He's sitting there and he's done, one take done. But that's one that we're definitely going to be playing live a lot. Um, yeah, the crowd seem to dig that one too. Especially sometimes I walk out in the crowd and kind of have them all surrounding me, point and going, "You fat bastard."
Yeah.
So yeah.
You played
Uh,
that up in Sydney, didn't you?
yeah, we played that one a couple of times now. So I think you were there at that one, yeah. Um, And it's good because now when people give me shit for taking my shirt off on stage because I'm a big fat bastard, we can
Yeah.
just play that and dedicate it to them.
Because I
Um,
remember you were putting the microphone in fucking people's faces and that,
yeah,
and
yeah, bit of
lyrics
a
and
menace with that cordless microphone. Now I've got a cordless and run around and shove it in people's faces and be a bit of an annoying prick.
and
But
you put it in you put it in Joe's face, and she's like, I don't know the words. Like,
I like to find the people that look really, really uncomfortable and do it
yeah,
to them, like the ones that are because you can tell when I walk out and people are singing along and that you look at some people and you can see they're going, "Oh God, God, don't come near me." So when I see that, I go straight to those people and go, "There you go, have a sing." And some of them love it, and some of them just like die a little bit inside. Um, but yeah, and yeah, the last song on the album, for a second time, no. So that was actually already recorded under the title of No on our first EP, Violating Community Standards. Um, but we were never really happy with the recording. There was a couple of little glitchy bits in it, and Mark plays it very differently to how Luke does. Not better or worse, just different. And I like the way Mark plays it. He had a little solo, and we called it for the second time. No, because it's the second time. You probably can at the end of it. We asked people to say no into a microphone, and so everyone that did that sent it to us. They're in that recording. And at the end, you can hear that little piano note.
Yeah, yeah,
That's my niece doing that. It's kind of a reference to the Beatles' "Day in a Life" that
yeah.
finishes with that big piano chord. So I kind of thought it'd be a bit of a piss take and throw that in there as well. And yeah, that's the album in a nutshell. 8 tracks. It's on
Yeah.
vinyl, it's on CD, it's on digital, and on Spotify if you want to be a cheap prick and not pay for it.
Yeah. And some came out with a bit of um monk jizz.
Yeah, we did it. We did a when we sent it off to the pressing plant, because we did this all on our own label, Booker Bastard, which is Martin and me. We put this one out ourselves, and when we went to the pressing plant, they were like, "Oh, do you want normal vinyl or colored?" And we're like, "Oh, it'd be cool to do colored vinyl." They're like, "Cool." And then I said, "Oh, listen, we're doing this deal where if you do a certain amount of colored vinyl, we'll give you a cheap deal on some splatter vinyl as well." So we're like, "Oh, that'd be cool. Let's do a couple of those." So we did 10 of those. And of course, as soon as we saw them when they came back, it's like, fuck, these are much better than I thought they'd look. So we all wanted one. So there's 4 gone instantly. So we put the rest straight up on Bandcamp for the pre-sale, and they were sold out in 3 minutes.
Wow.
So you can still get the orange ones. You just can't get the
Yeah.
orange with the monk semen on it.
Well, I think
There we are.
I'm gonna because today's Sunday, so I was gonna take this. I was gonna get dressed in my son's school uniform. I was gonna take this and go to the nearest church,
Oh God.
um, and yeah, and get an actual one off fucking
See if a monk can give you a bit of a load for it. Well, you
yeah,
can, yeah, you can. We should have sold those as a DIY kit.
yeah, that's it. Yeah. So that's the album anyway, guys. If you can see it.
Yep. So there you go. Front cover was done by Rich from the Dark Clouds.
Yep.
Yeah, back cover, the photos are done by John Dehan, who he plays in Headbutt, which is an awesome band, and the drawing, the illustration was done by my brother-in-law Ray Lonsdale. That's going to be on a shirt shortly, so yeah, you'll be able to buy that on a shirt and run around looking fancy. Incidentally,
And
speaking of
yellow
shirts,
too.
nice shirt you're wearing there. Moot or Moot or however you want to pronounce it are an awesome band out of Foster, New South Wales. Shane,
Yeah,
who
definitely.
plays bass for them, does our shirts for us. So if you're
Yeah.
looking for band merch, hit Shane up. He'll do your deal.
Because when I interviewed Mort, I said when you read it, you think Moots because it's double O. But I'm thinking back to when I was younger, is
Yeah,
that? And I said, yeah, that's right.
yeah,
That's what we actually. And I went,
yeah.
yeah, good. What a great
They're an
name.
awesome band. I wish they lived closer because Foster being up there it makes it hard for them to travel to get gigs and
Yeah,
you know.
definitely.
But they're an awesome band and cool people too. So
Yeah,
shout out to them. And all the bands we've been playing with lately, actually, while I'm here, I'll bore you with some recommendations. Dark Clouds, always, Strikeouts, Tanny Christ, The Limited. There's heaps more. I don't want to go through a big list because I'll forget, but their bands have been playing live a lot lately and awesome, especially the young blokes from The Limited. Have you interviewed them yet?
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
they're super kids. They've got an album called The
Herschel's
Coffin and the Suitcase.
he's a
Herschel, yeah, he's an absolute an absolute champion. So yeah, once you've listened to our album, go and listen to some of those bands.
yeah, yeah, they are. Every band you said have just kicked ass. I want to know how long was it between Brain Dead and this
Almost
one?
exactly a year for the
Okay.
releases. Almost
It
exactly 12 months between them.
it just felt like a month.
Yeah, it's weird and that time kind of flies and yeah, I mean it's funny we're going back to Brisbane again and we're going back almost 12 months to the day. I think it's 364 days difference. We went on the 19th last year, and we're playing on the 18th this year. So yeah, time flies. We're doing a bunch of gigs coming up. We've got that. We've got Sydney and Port Kembla beginning of December, then Woy Woy. Next year we're going to Melbourne. So Kanga Jack, we'll see you in March, brother. Yeah, we're playing at the Last Chance with a bunch of cool bands, including Forklift Assassins and Munted Chunts. And I think the Thorazines as well, which are another cool band. So be a good gig down there in March as well. But yeah, that's
You played with Forklift Assassins before.
yeah, we played a couple of times with those guys, and I love them as people, and I love them as a band. They are the
Definitely.
nicest people, particularly Lex's bass playing. He is an absolute fiend, and he finger picks, and he stands there and he's got this presence because he's a skinny dude, and he just stands there with this bass and his fingers just fly, and he's got these great expressions on his face because he's feeling it.
And then he gets into the stomping the foot.
Yeah, he just looks like a demon on the bass. And yeah, Forklift Assassins, if you're out in Melbourne, they play a lot in Melbourne. Go and check them out. Great people, great band.
Definitely. Well, we've got this is coming out today, probably.
Awesome.
So have you got? Do you want to tell? You've said that where you're playing or anything, but do you want to talk? Have you got band gigs coming up?
Yeah. So
really soon?
just November 18th. Bad Luck in Brisbane with the Square Tugs, Permanent Revolution, PhD, and Queerbaits. That's a super lineup. Square Tugs are another band I should have name dropped because I really love them. All those bands are really good though. December 2nd, we're in Sydney at the Mosh Pit. I think it's December 2nd. That's the Saturday. That's the Friday. And then the Saturday, we're in Port Kembla. Bunch of cool bands on both those. Radio Rejects are playing None for One.
Oh, definitely.
That's Port Kembla. In Sydney, Skadites, Cruise, Headbutt, and The Limited. And The Limited are playing actually both Port Kembla and Sydney. And then on the 9th of December, we're going up to Woy Woy. That's an 8-band bill or 7-band bill. They let me put that one together, so it's a bunch of my favorite bands from up that way. Plus Flowers for Jane, who's really cool band. The Limited, The Grounds, who I really love. The Leftards are playing that one. I Hate People, and the Australian Beef Week show as well. So that's like a dream lineup for me. A whole bunch of my favorite plans.
Playing two
sets. So we've kind of split them up in the running order. So he's got a bit of time because he's drumming for the Leftards now as well as I Hate People. So he needs to recover. That's going to give him a bit of time between because I'm going to have I Hate People close out the night. Gives him a bit of time to recover. I think we and Beef Week are playing between the Leftards and I Hate People. But yeah, again, two other bands. Well, all those bands I just mentioned, go and check them out. I Hate People are awesome. Leftards are awesome. Beef Week are one of my favorite fucking bands, full stop. Most underrated band in the country. So Australian Beef Week show, go and check them out. Flowers for Jane, The Limited. Sure, I forgot someone. The Grounds. Don't sleep on the fucking Grounds because they are awesome too. They're one of those bands that I forget about, and then I see them live and go, fuck me, why do I keep forgetting about it? Because they are awesome live.
Yeah, they sent me all their albums when I interviewed them, and fuck.
They're a really fucking legit good live band.
Definitely.
Justin and Bisso particularly are super nice dudes too. They're all nice dudes. I just know those two really well. And they are organising an awesome festival in Newcastle called Hell Nation. Justin and Bisso kind of organised that. What they do for the Newcastle scene is awesome. So love those boys.
Definitely. Well, thank you very much, Sean.
Mate, it's a pleasure as always, Matt. I will see you when I see you, mate. Yeah, Monks in Sexyland. Out now, don't be a shit cunt. Buy it, or at least stream it so we get our 0.000000002 cents. It's on vinyl, it's on CD, it's on digital download. If you buy the vinyl, You can always jizz on it yourself since you can't get the monk spunk version anymore. Enjoy it or don't. I don't care. I'm not your mum.
Excellent. Love you, brother.
Have a good one, fellas.